Most companies fail on YouTube because they treat it like a hobby instead of a proper strategy, uploading videos sporadically rather than consistently, and using it to store their latest TV ad or sales webinar rather than making videos with a specific audience in mind. If you've ever wondered why some businesses flourish on YouTube while others flounder, the answer often comes down to one role: the YouTube strategist. Even if they don't have someone within the company with this specific title, I can assure you that they have someone who's fulfilling its responsibilities. Today, we're breaking down exactly what a YouTube strategist does, why they're crucial for your company's success on the platform, and how they fit into your marketing team. By the end, you'll know how a YouTube strategist can transform your approach and your results. Now, YouTube success doesn't just happen by accident. It's not enough to post a few videos and hope they go viral. And yet, so many companies still do just that. Or even worse, they simply use their channel as a kind of repository for all the random video content they've ever produced. It's a bit like using Instagram as a repository for every photo you've ever taken. It makes no sense if you want to grow an audience. A YouTube strategist changes all that. They're the architect behind the channel's success, ensuring every piece of content drives real business value, regardless whether that means to you brand awareness or leads or even direct revenue. This isn't just about YouTube as a platform, it's really about how YouTube fits into your overall marketing mix. So let's break it down. So first, let's talk about the core responsibilities of a YouTube strategist. You can think of their work as a continuous cycle. And I'm going to illustrate this down here. So it starts with research, and then it moves on to strategy, then moves on to production, and then on to editing, followed by approvals and distribution, tracking, not going to leave enough space here, and analytics. So this is a very strange cycle. Not quite Tony Hart in his heyday. That's a terrible, terrible cycle. So let's start at the top with research, strategy, and planning. And this is basically where everything begins. A strategist starts by auditing your channel and asking questions like what's working and what's not working and why. They research your audience and competitors using tools like TubeBuddy and vidIQ and Ahrefs and SEMrush, and of course the YouTube platform itself. And importantly, they map your content strategy to your business goals. Are you trying to rank for high-value keywords? Are you trying to build brand authority? Are you trying to drive leads? And they also explain how this strategy that they build is going to help you achieve your goals. Good planning also means collaboration. A YouTube strategist works with other teams like social or content, performance marketing to ensure YouTube integrates seamlessly into the wider marketing strategy. So let's move on to production and distribution. So next comes the execution phase. The strategist works with writers and videographers and editors to bring the content plan to life. They optimize workflows to ensure efficiency, for example, batching video production or outsourcing editing to free up internal resources. They also ensure every script and storyboard serves the larger strategy, whether it's creating story-driven content, reaction videos, or search-friendly tutorials. And that brings us on to these final stages: tracking, reporting, and analysis. Finally, the strategist doesn't just measure success, they also analyze it. They use the YouTube Studio and analytics tools to track key metrics like watch time, impression to view, CTR, and audience retention. And they monitor video performance on Google as well, because ranking videos there can also drive significant organic traffic. And advanced strategists might use AI and automation tools like Make or Zapier to automate repetitive tasks on this cycle, such as compiling performance reports or keyword research. And they'll be looking to optimize each stage of this cycle to create a kind of continuous improvement loop. So now let's talk about how a YouTube strategist fits into your broader team. And I think you've got to think of them as not only the strategist, but also the bridge between content creation and strategy. While your videographers focus on visuals and your social media team amplifies distribution, the strategist makes sure it all serves a bigger purpose. Ultimately, they're accountable for the numbers the channel generates, which I guess makes them the channel owner. To illustrate this, I want to take you on a whirlwind tour of my own career, as I'm sure I'll have faced many of the challenges that you'll encounter if you're in the process of building out your company's YouTube channel. Now, early on, I tried to manage both strategy and production for a language school that I was working on. It went okay, but I had too many fingers in too many pies, and production remained very amateur as a result. I focused on research, never really shaped strategy, and just jumped into production without the planning or the scripting. And from there, I released videos, shared them in forums, and only really monitored YouTube metrics rather than any actual business metrics. Next up, I moved to a well-funded startup, initially produced videos myself, but quickly hired videographers and became head of content. As the team manager, I would basically dictate what should be produced, but again was just working with research and no real strategy. What does that mean? Well, I'd come up with 10 different ideas, all of which could work, and then just try to get them all done, which meant no consistency. So no consistency in the content that we were producing and no consistency in our releases. So basically there was just no strategy. So this did improve over time, but I guess because of my inexperience as a manager, the video team ended up moving over to the brand team and the strategy side remained in the performance team. So our ability to distribute, track, and analyze was arguably world-class, but the setup of the two teams, with ultimately different imperatives, performance and brand, meant we didn't operate as a united team with singular goals. And this meant video production and release was always unpredictable. Finally, in my next company where I was CMO, and therefore had the power to solve this structural problem, we had a team dedicated to YouTube, where we had a lead who doubled up as the strategist, and then video producers who executed on the strategy, filming content before outsourcing the edits to skilled freelancers. This, for me, was a good setup for the size we were, and the team drove a double-digit percentage of revenue. Now, there was still the question of where this team sat in the larger marketing organization. Is it a performance team? Is it a brand team? A social team? So my opinion is, I think it fits into a metric-minded brand or organic team as part of a broader social team with the head of brand at the top determining overall brand strategy, and that being broken down into strategies across socials and YouTube, editorial, creative, and so on, helping teams maximize their resources, synergies, and output. That's a bit jargony, so what does that mean in plain English? Well, for example, blog posts can be used as starting points for scripts, shorts can double up as reels, and lower funnel YouTube content can be used in ads. When you get to this stage, you can see how you really need someone who's thinking bigger picture. Now, some companies think they don't need a YouTube strategist and they assume it's easy to just figure it out. But perhaps think about it this way. You wouldn't run a paid ad campaign without a strategy. If strategy is too fuzzy a term for you, then basically what I mean is having things like cohesive, consistent messaging, a well-defined audience, a landing page that's fit for purpose. And at the other end of the spectrum, you wouldn't execute a brand campaign without a strategist either, someone who's guiding the vision. So why would you treat YouTube any differently? Now, a good YouTube strategist combines expertise across multiple areas, which also means they need quite a lot of tool knowledge. So for SEO and keyword research, they'll be familiar with tools like TubeBuddy and vidIQ and Ahrefs. They'll also need to understand YouTube's recommendation engine and its algorithm, always staying on top of the latest tactics to get a step ahead of the competition, whether that means the latest editing techniques or thumbnail design. They'll also need to know about script writing, and perhaps they have built custom GPTs to accelerate the process. And maybe they use automation tools like Make and Zapier to help out here as well. They'll also be familiar with all the different formats on YouTube, like live streams and shorts, and they'll use tools like Restream for multi-platform streaming, and perhaps Descript to enable non-expert teams to repurpose content. For advanced teams, the YouTube strategist might also build custom tools like we've done here at Humble&Brag with Google Sheet scripts to scrape YouTube and Google search suggestions for video ideas. The YouTube strategist basically knits together all these elements into a working strategy and ensures every team involved knows their role in making this strategy real. When I first started working on YouTube, I tried to do it all. Strategy, production, optimization, promotion, and it was overwhelming and I wasn't good at everything. But when I shifted to focusing solely on strategy and letting others handle execution, everything changed. The work became more efficient and the results were exponentially better. The lesson? A YouTube strategist doesn't just work alone, they guide a team towards shared goals. If your company doesn't have someone leading YouTube strategy, it might be time to rethink that. Subscribe to this channel for more insights into YouTube strategy, and if you're serious about leveling up, join our community to sharpen your skills. Because at the end of the day, the right strategy doesn't just grow your YouTube channel, it grows your business too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.